Welcome to the shit show.
Well, it is I. It is just I. It is Tim here, alone, by myself, on the All Elite Wrap-Up. Tom said he would rather be on a boat with coworkers with no internet for hours than to be here with you, with you sickos and friends. And I think that's rude. I think you should write him and let him know what you think, which brings me to how you can do that. You can do that at aewrapup@gmail.com, right? You can type out a letter. You can send a video. You can send an audio call. Send that over. We'll play it here, read it here. Try not to be too hard on him, like a misfit mess here in the chat. Lisa here is saying, can't be too hard on Tom. You know, things happen. I myself am doing this a day early because I'm going to be on a flight, which, I don't know if you read the news, it's safe, super safe, great time to be flying right now. So no anxiety about that or anything like that. We'll be flying. So we're going to do this tonight, right? Normally we like to sleep on it. Tom and I don't have any hot takes, right? But I guess we'll see if that happens tonight. We're going to have some hot takes maybe. Get in the chat if you're watching us live here. Tell me what you thought about Dynamite as we go through it. If we go through it too quick, we might touch on some Collision. If we don't go through it too quick, we'll leave it there, right? We will leave it there. AllEliteWrapup.com is your source for any links that you might need for us, right? There's, again, aewrapup@gmail.com if you want to send us some correspondence. But if you want to look for us on the Blue Sky, some other things like that, AllEliteWrapup.com is the links you're gonna need. And man, Dynamite was intense. I feel like Dynamite was an A to an A plus show when you look at like if you're grading on the curve of all the Dynamites here. I thought this came out really good, right? I mean, certainly we always find ways that they can improve, and we're going to say that. I say I'm going to say that. Maybe you're going to say that in the chats here too. But let's talk about it. They open up, I don't know if anybody caught this. There's some difference in the way they're shooting things, right? The way they're kind of presenting the goings on backstage. We opened this show with Renee kind of outside giving us the, hey, tonight we've got an exciting card for you. And they're showing kind of that like weaving in the videos of these folks that we're talking about. But it eventually gets into a Jay White interview. And this one, okay, so Jay White says, all right, I don't like these people necessarily, but like I got to lean on them because of the Death Rider. So I got to lean on FTR. I got to lean on Copeland because the Death Rider's got numbers. And then there's the numbers, including Pac, who's, sometimes there, sometimes not. But always non-compliant with the dress code is Pac, right? Pac does not care about the uniform, right? They have a uniform. They got to look. You got to wear the shirt, tight shirt, and the jeans, and any color, like black, white, and olive, right? Any mix of that, right? You just got all these nice neutral colors, mixing them around. And he doesn't care. He's showing up in underwear and wet hair. And like, that is what he's here for. And they commence to have a beat down, right? Which is fine, right? They drag him, being Jay White, drag him back through the arena. And they're, giving him all the elbows and all the stuff, right? And beating him up. He's trying to fight back. But like, he said, I got to lean on these guys, and they kind of don't show up, right? Copeland finally shows up conspicuously late to help a little and then be like, Moxley, let's fight. And Moxley's like, yeah, no, right, nerd. And then we get Jay White to be like, okay, well, we're going to make it a Brisbane brawl or something like that, which, we're going to Australia, so we're going to brand everything Australian, which... I think this is a good way to kind of involve some high main event level players, but I think the main event's going to be Toni Storm, Mariah May at this event. So this makes, we're not having a title on the line or anything here, right? So I think that's what we're doing here. But I'm interested to know what you guys think. And again, you can hit us up on social medias and the emails and all of that. But, this might be honestly the slowest part of the show for me was coming out the gate, but it was still full of excitement and action, right? So I'm kind of hooked in, right? But, I don't know that a whole lot of storytelling is going on in this storyline. It's just kind of, and now we're mad Jay White now and FTR and Copeland. And I don't know. I don't know what I think about it, but, maybe it's not, maybe it's not for everybody. But we get Ospreay coming out, right? And this crowd, by the way, Atlanta, Tom and I talked briefly. He did get a message to me, some correspondence before the show, and he pointed out again, man, AEW, we love you. You're getting better at so many things. I feel like local media marketing is a thing you can get better on. This is Atlanta. I feel like you could have had double the crowd without trying, right? Atlanta is a very large city. I'm sure there are a lot of people that watch AEW or would want to come to that show. And man, it just looked kind of sparse, right? But they brought it, man. These people were on fire all night. And we get Ospreay out, and they are into the Ospreay. And we get the Don Callis music, which I point out, I like to use that as white noise for when I go to sleep at night. The Don Callis music. Can we call it music? I don't know what it is, but it's great. If you want to feel evil, if you want to tomorrow I need to wake up with hate in my heart, use that as white noise while you're sleeping. So Don Callis comes out and he's like, hey, we've been teasing this new member, and it's Mark Davis. Which Mark Davis, I get it. I get what the tie is, Ospreay, but didn't we just do a thing about Mark Davis was like, oh man, Fletcher, you fucked up and you joined this family? And I get it. Things change and families twist and turn and stab each other in the back. I'm hoping they tell us a little more to this story. And also because, lol, so what? He beat him. He beats him up. So it just, okay, so now Ospreay's like, yay. But now we get Kenny Omega, who comes out wearing his best, Comic-Con attendee outfit. and I get it, he's not there to wrestle. He's just there to kind of shit talk. And he's like, fuck you, Don Callis. And, can't wait till I get back in the ring and beat you guys' ass. But we can do it now. Right. And, this is good hype, but I also the Don Callis family is awesome and everything they do is cool. And I feel like we've done this, right? I feel like we've done Kenny Omega with this. I feel like we've done Ospreay with this. I don't feel like there's another hurdle to be had here. I get the Don Callis family's annoying and they're being pestering here and hanging around, but I don't know. And maybe this is a throwaway because they're like, let's get a big thing in Australia that people love. They'll get an easy win and we will move on. But Mark Davis, what do we do with that? Can we dig more into why he's now on or riding with the Don Callis family? And why are they not just a tag team again, him and Fletcher, right? Because I don't think anybody really wants that now. I don't even think Kyle Fletcher wants that. So what do we do? What are we doing with that? Mark Davis, who I said looks like a 2025 version of the Blackjacks. He kind of doesn't fit in with the group, if you ask me. I don't know. The Hurt Syndicate is in the building, and this gets a little interesting, right? So the Hurt Syndicate are doing everything they do. Looking suave, looking cool, looking jacked, looking just better than you at everything that we can do. Right? I don't think I do anything that the Hurt Syndicate doesn't do better than me. So they're back in MVP. He's talking all the smack. He's like, listen, we're coming for everything. When we decide to come get you, we're coming to get you and we're going to take yours. But we've got these and what's up? Who's coming out? Who's going to say something? And we get the Ass Boys, which I was not expecting. I was not expecting the Ass Boys to be the one to answer this call. And the Ass Boys, I will give them this, were hyped to be there, right? Tom here, who's derelict in his duty and not on post, if you will, to man his spot, is sending correspondence from afar in the chat here. He says, the show would be better with a co-host. I've heard this guy named Thomas is one of the fastest rising stars in the world of AEW podcasts recorded on Wednesday or Thursday night around 7-ish. Yeah, fastest rising because he's definitely not the current number one AEW podcast host recorded on a Wednesday or Thursday night around 7-ish. That's a clear-cut Mahomesian-like number one. But Tom's rising fast. He's very Jaden Daniels-like, right? He's very, very, very decent. Got a bright future of winning some conference championships ahead of him. By the way, Mahomes, Super Bowl, I didn't take pause to relish in that. Next time we speak, we will all be celebrating the Chiefs' third straight Super Bowl and watching the rest of NFL fandom, right? The entirety of a nation melt down about it, right? Like watching folks in like Cincinnati cry, the folks in Jacksonville with just sour faces, right? You know what I mean? People out in Phoenix, just like, God damn it, fucking jeez, man, the goddamn referees are always, and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be so fun. We're gonna be talking about how like Travis Kelce is that dude, greatest of all time. How Mahomes is that dude, greatest of all time. How Andy Reid is that dude, greatest of all time. How Steve Spagnuolo is that dude. Chris Jones is that dude. I can't get ahead of myself. There's a game to play. Philadelphia is a tough team. Okay, all right, back to the wrestling. Where were we? The Hurt Syndicate is looking badass. The Ass Boys come out. Thomas does say, some have been saying Thomas is the most creative voice in pro wrestling since Dusty Rhodes cut that promo about midgets beating off or whatever.
A midget are beating off in the trash can.
Yeah, that was a classic. That was a classic. And Tom is very similar to that. Very similar to
a midget are beating off in the trash can.
If I had to liken two things to each other, Tom and
a midget are beating off in the trash can.
Spot on. Great analysis, Tom. That's why you're one of the fastest rising stars. But the Ass Boys get the Ass Boys treatment, right? And MVP and the Hurt Syndicate are like, whatever. Ass Boys, fine. We can do this, right? Next week. And I am going to enjoy thoroughly how much better at everything the Hurt Syndicate is than the Ass Boys, right? It's going to be laughable at how these rising stars are going to look like chumps next to 72-year-old guys just on a jog. It's going to be great. It's going to be kind of like the Super Bowl. All right, what else did we get? We got Renee Paquette interviewing the fastest rising star in wrestling in Harley Cameron. I can't stress enough, Harley Cameron can't do anything wrong, right? Like everything she does is entertaining. This is a fact. I think I read it in Ripley's, believe it or not, the coolest ventriloquist to have ever lived, right? Have you seen or met another ventriloquist cooler than Harley Cameron? You have not. You haven't, right? You haven't. Darren K83 says Harley is batting 1,000. She really is. Harley Cameron is killing it. This ventriloquist stuff that she was pulling, this started on Collision, and Mercedes Moné is like, bitch, what? Dork. Right? And like, no, get away from me. And so we continue it here. And the subtlety of her doing the like, right? Like as Mercedes Moné is talking and she kind of like looks and so, nope, wasn't doing none of that. And the end, like being so kind of like berated and insulted that like it hurt her. That like she needed to hold the hand of Renee at the end. Harley Cameron is amazing. She's one where I'm a little worried. I'm like, get what we can out of her because she might be destined to be gone and doing other things. I mean, she already what did I send you, Tom? Where like it listed 25 things that she does like currently. Like when we were like, oh, Britt Baker is a wrestler and a dentist. Harley Cameron does 45 things at once. She's 45 jobs. It's amazing. This was a really cool segment. I like this a whole bunch. Can't say enough about it. We kind of get Renee again right here. And we get AEW's main character, Hangman Adam Page. And he is... she asked him, like, what were you doing looking for Swerve last week? Was there a moment of, like, regret? Are we seeing you, like, realize? Are you sad? And he's like, no, I'm a tough guy. I'm a man. I'm a manly man. Nope, I don't care. I hope bad things happen to them, right? I hope they trip upstairs. I hope they run out of milk after they poured their cereal already. Like, they suck as human beings, and I don't like them. And... he gets interrupted by Max Caster, who's... I'm going to pause on Max Caster here, or, at this moment talk about Max Caster. I'm loving this new Max Caster, like, annoying shithead who, like, thinks he's the best wrestler alive, can't win a match, nobody likes, right? And he's just delusional. So he interrupts, and he's like, tell him to hurry up, like, Jesus Christ. And then he's like, by the way, you don't need to be sad. Like, murder people. That's great. You could murder Anthony Bowens. I might be paraphrasing, right? Like, you could go set Billy Gunn's house on fire, right? Like go do that. And Hangman's like, you know what? I don't see them around. So what if I do that shit to you, pal? And he runs away, right? Anthony Bowens like, nope, please, nope. Runs away. Hangman Adam Page goes off. We are doing the Hangman Adam Page, like, dwindles, right, into kind of like self-realization of what he's doing, aren't we? Right? Aren't we? I mean, I guess I could possibly see that we find another person to just, like, take his ire and make, like, a new focal point, but I don't see that happening because, like, we're focusing something on Swerve here, and I think he's gonna, like, apologize to Swerve. He's not gonna do that, is he? He's not gonna apologize to Swerve, right? This isn't like a 12-step make it right, is it? What's he gonna do? What is Hangman gonna do when he finally gets face to face with Swerve? Because he's looking for him. What is he gonna do? I don't. Hangman is a dangerous mind right now, and I'm interested to see where he's going to go with that. Where's he going to go with that? And we got our meat match of the night. We got the protein, right? The power protein punch fest here with the Hounds of Hell, Buddy Matthews and Brody King, who, as I said, Brody King is the badassiest of badasses right now. They come out doing the right, the whole, black, everything's dark, right, and everything, they're going nuts, crowds into it. And then we get, again, that Don Callis music, right? Whatever, like, look, I don't see why it wasn't mentioned at the Grammys, but it should have won. We get Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita, because, Kyle Fletcher, years of experience with the newfound Don Callis family member, but like, nah. Theo P, I'm contacting HR on TMAC for skipping work. And yes, Tom, I don't know if you read earlier, you did not put your out of office message on. So we're going to have to, like, discuss this and write this up on the next episode here. But Takeshita and Fletcher taking on the Hounds of Hell, which I love the new name, love the whole new kind of gimmick, right? It's not too much of a change, but it's something different. It's not just House of Black, like House of Blacklist. And so when they say hard-hitting match, this is what they should show people, right? This is what they should show people. These dudes meat slapped all up and down this canvas, throwing each other around, uppercuts, right? Like just hard hitting. And then I'm honestly a bit surprised that Fletcher and Takeshita came away with this win. I think maybe that's because we're going to continue it on. But, man, the Hounds of Hell are they feel like something ready to break out because every crowd wants to be involved in being behind them. Am I misreading that? I think we're itching to be like, give us the Hounds of Hell in something big where we can just fucking unleash our barking like animals and just cheer these, these deviants. Like, I want violence. All right. Anyway, sorry. But I need to calm down a little bit. Calm down. We got another segment that is fun just as a segment, and then fun for also another reason that I'll talk about. We get Samoa Joe and Hook, right? They're backstage after we got this replay of like what the patriarchy did to them on Collision, which beat them up after a match, right? Which Samoa Joe and Hook beat the shit out of them, right? Out of Sabian and Wayne. And so they're going back and looking for their redemption, right? They find Sabian and Wayne and they continue to beat that ass, right? They're throwing it down in the locker room, just all out assault, right? The violence I was talking about earlier, right? And this is great, especially because we get Christian Cage hiding, right? We see him like, oh, nope, like not doing that until Samoa Joe and Hook leave, and then they come in and they're like, oh man, what happened? Awesome stuff. Again, that little nugget of Christian just being like, oops, not helping there was great. But what the extra cherry on top of this is, Samoa Joe was in his like casual Friday work shirt, right? Like he's just in his collar shirt, looks like you got it off the rack at Kohl's, and you know what I mean? Like he just left the pizza party. It was awesome, and he's just still beating people, right? Like he's not. I love it, man. Samoa Joe, it literally looks like he got off the flight and was like, I ain't got time to change. Let's just do the segment. Love it. And what I kind of don't love is Christian Cage and the patriarchy are still kind of just spinning their wheels. Like, I don't see anything huge going to come out of Samoa Joe and Hook versus the patriarchy. Either way, I kind of don't like either one of these teams taking a hit. I kind of don't like Hook being in a team right now with Samoa Joe. Like, as cool as they are, didn't we do it? And didn't it not really amount to anything? So, there's definitely something needs to be done different with Hook, and this isn't different. So, fine. I'm still waiting for how do we address and when do we address that Christian Cage is the reigning, defending, undisputed, next men's AEW world champion. We're not going to get there from this, right? Samoa Joe and Hook. Yeah. But we get MJF, and I like that Tony Schiavone, rightfully, right, hates MJF, shitting on him as MJF is walking out to the ring, doing his MJF thing. And they're like, oh, come on, you got to give him some time. Like, let him. And he's like, no, he's going to insult. He's just coming out here to insult somebody. That's all he's going to do out here. And they're like, no, let's just see what he's got to say. And the first thing he does is like, geriatric Jeff Jarrett. He's like, see what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Which MJF kind of hits it right, right on the nose here, but I don't know if maybe we should be addressing it. He says AEW is standing for all elderly wrestling, and that's it's gonna get worse, I guess. We'll talk about that. So he's doing that. He's shit talking Jeff Jarrett, but then we see the cowardly Max Caster again. We get Max Caster stumbling, falling, running through the ring, and MJF is like, what are you doing, you dork? Like, why are you in my ring? What's wrong with you? And all Max Caster can say is, Hangman, Hangman, Hangman. And then we get the Hangman music. Hangman's coming out. I'm going to kick Max Caster's ass. I'm going to beat him up. And we're face up MJF Hangman again, right? We get that face up. Just that pause for a moment. And then Hangman remembers, no, I was after that nerd, and I'm going to go get his ass. And we leave that there, and now MJF's like, God, fuck, you're all cheering that guy. He fucking sucks. Like, why? You know what I mean? You can see it's obviously upsetting MJF, right? And he's trying to continue, his shit-talking ways when he gets interrupted by another all elderly wrestling giant in Dustin Rhodes. And Tom mentioned this last week, and I think I'm blaming Tom because he said, why wouldn't you just team him up with Dustin Rhodes? Doesn't that fit? So now here we get Dustin Rhodes. What I will say is Dustin Rhodes surprised me. He really did not fail in this opportunity to entertain. He was a little 80s wrestling with the yelling, but man, he was impassioned about like, fuck you, you scumbag. Like, you think you're the devil? I have seen the devil. You aren't it. You chump. I'm better than you and you know it. Like, you're just, and looking like he's aging in reverse, right? Like, you know what I mean? If you look at his face, maybe not, but like, look at his body, you think, like, he does not look like a 50-year-old man. And this was fine, I guess, right? Like, I think MJF, look, if we're going to lump all the oldies into this one storyline and try to maybe squeeze it all together, then fine. But I'm a little worried what does happen is we get the Santino treatment here for MJF, and all the oldies get a big beat down on this guy. Maybe it was that happened to Santino. Who did that happen to? I can't remember. Who was battling the old guys? Was it Jericho? I don't remember. And they're all gonna get their one up on him in a match. MJF looks like a nerd, and then he goes away for a while and doesn't come back because he's got to do all the movie press, something like that. Maybe that happens. Which we get the old guy hugs and the like. I'm the last of a dying breed. I'm on my 5-year last ride. Get out of here. That should be fun. That should be fun. What is fun is the next segment. Now, look, this can be, I think this was right before the main event. So, you know, maybe not because we did get the New York Minute, but we get a little time for the women. But however, so we get Mariah May to come down and call this match because it's going to be Toni Storm and Queen Aminata. However, we get Queen Aminata, and playing the role of Mariah May is Toni Storm. And this was awesome. So she's got the whole look, the whole gimmick, the walk, the mannerisms, and Mariah May is not happy. We talk about how great Toni Storm is, and she is the best wrestler in the world. She is the best wrestler in the world. But Mariah May was also killing it in this moment. She was so mad. She was so furious. Like, she was like seething in her chair, like just, you know what I mean? Dirty looks, like insulted at anybody mentioning that Mariah May was in the ring. He was like, don't call her that. We're not going to do that. Like, just kind of like, we're going to continue this. Like, we're going to continue this show. We're just going to give her this stage like this. We're going to let this continue. She's even trying to like insult. She's like, look, Tony, look, she's got two big reasons why she could never be me. And Tony is rightfully studying those reasons. I thought this was great. Queen Aminata also got in some moments of like, don't forget about me, motherfuckers, right? Like, keep your eye on the prize, or I can get you. But she did not get her, right? Toni Storm. Another thing is Mariah May's like, look, her damn extensions are even failing. They were all falling out. This was great. Look, I am so glad Toni Storm is really sinking back into just kind of the all over the place character. We're really allowing her creativity to flourish here, and it's amazing. I can't think of anybody doing like better stuff on a big stage right now than Toni Storm. Like, this is great. Mariah May is playing an awesome part in this because she is top shelf talent as well. But it's all just blending together so well, even though it's chaotic and all over the place. And I love it. I love it a lot. Well, we got the Dustin Rhodes, speech backstage too, right? I think he's he challenges MJF to a match next week on Dynamite, right? Backstage, something like that, and he's rah, 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 right? Rah, rah, rah. MJF, you gonna get you. And we get the half an hour New York Minute. Derek83 says, Mariah is great on commentary. Tony is amazing. Queen Aminata is too. And he's right. He's right. Theo P also says dock his pay because Tom. I would dock his pay, but right now we don't have any pay to give Tom because we need folks to go to allelitewrapup.com. Click those donate links. 2 ways to donate. You got the PayPal. You can donate. You got the Cash App. You can donate. If you're here in Kansas City, let's meet up. You can slip me a 50, right? Let's make it happen. Chiefs are winning the Super Bowl, by the way. Kansas City. I just thought I would remind you. 3-peat imminent. But back to this. The New York Minute. We get Jericho talking, and he's still talking. And I know, and now he's talking about Bandito because that happened on Collision, right? Like they had a match and they were beaten down. I forget who it was at the moment, off the top of my head. After the match, and Bandito comes to make Outrunners, and Bandito comes to make the save, and so they're like, fuck you, Bandito. He says, I don't know why you think you're this wanted man, but if you're wanted, says there's a $100,000 bounty, which means he's wanted. I got a bounty hunter, which great, right? Brian Keith is a bounty hunter, which didn't really fit with this learning tree gimmick, but he is the bounty hunter. So there's a bounty on Bandito's head, then the bounty hunter should go get him. That's awesome. And Jericho even says, I'll double it, right? I will double it. I will give you that money. And he's like, all right, go do what the Redwood here did to Powerhouse Hobbs, which that cues Powerhouse Hobbs. And I said this on the Blue Sky. If you want me to tolerate a learning tree segment, putting Powerhouse Hobbs in it is a decent way to start. I will not fault you that. Powerhouse Hobbs comes out and does powerhouse things, right? He's just checking fools, and that gets us kind of into this Big Bill, Powerhouse, and the Outrunners come out. They start brawling, right? So we get all that, blah, 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 right? I can't even remember if that really ended it, or we just kind of the brawl ended it, I think, and then it just kind of went out. I don't know. We're going to continue that. I will say this. I think the Outrunners overcoming the learning tree could be the best thing. We talked about this, Tom and I did last week, and Tom can't be here because he does not love you as much as I do. He said he would rather hang out with coworkers on a boat with no internet than have to talk to you folks. Those are his words. I think I might be paraphrasing. I'm busy and I forget sometimes. So I'm just this is what I remember him saying. So maybe I'm wrong. We said the Outrunners need somebody to overcome, right? The Outrunners need somebody to beat for us to kind of start lifting them up. And this is a good start. The learning tree, if it was like Jericho and Brian Keith, right? We let Big Bill start doing Big Bill things on his own. Them kind of being that gimmick kind of fits. The Outrunners are this 80 kitschy gimmick. Here's the learning tree being that. And it could sell for him decently, I think, and get the Outrunners a overcame the obstacles victory to kind of be all right, now we're ready to take on fill in the blank next, right? Private Party or whomever. I think I could foresee a way to do that, and that, if that was a means to an end, then that's fine. I think of dealing with more learning tree, if we could get some more of the youngest men alive, right? So if you want me to tolerate a learning tree segment, you put Powerhouse Hobbs in it. Now, if you also put in the Bruce Lees of jet skis, the Arnold Schwarzeneggers of squash and ham and eggers, the Outrunners, if you put them in that segment, well, now it might be more than tolerating it, right? Now it might be more than tolerating it. I do look cool like this, right? With these sunglasses on. I'm going to refer to the chat. I need a confidence boost, right? But I feel like I look cool like this right here. I feel like if I was walking down the streets, people would say, that guy's cool. All right, maybe that's going too far. So we get the main event. Right? We get Ricochet, Swerve Strickland. Atlanta is full. By the way, how many times did we get ATL during the show? Awesome. We got this crowd swearing to where Jericho had to be like, that's swearing, right? They had to kind of try to bleep over the crowd a couple times. I'm going to give the small Atlanta crowd this. You guys were not small in your stature, right? In what you brought it hard, and it was loud and it was big. But we got Swerve Strickland. So they're doing the Who's House. They're doing the na-na. The na-na-na. And Ricochet, which, talk about rising stars. I mean, Ricochet is a star. We know Ricochet. He's a top shelf talent. But this, coming to AEW, this heel turn of this, like, socially awkward, creepy serial killer, sociopath, is awesome. I want so much more of this. I want him to get a little more creepy. I want him to do more creepy things. The scissors is great. I saw somebody said Bully Ray was upset about that, said they shouldn't be doing that. Fuck that guy if that's what he said. This is great. This is great. In this match, these people, for Ricochet being one of the quote-unquote flips and shit guys, that's not what was happening here too, right? Like, yes, he gets the spots in and they do their big things, but this also was hard-hitting, and this was like a fight and a brawl, and Ricochet has evil in his eyes, and I am here for it, right? I am here for it. This is great stuff. Anyway, so we're getting all that back and forth. Swerve Strickland is doing Swerve Strickland things too, right? They trade the back and forth of like, I think we're going to get a victory here. I think we're going to get a victory here. And we get that spot here where there was a low blow due to the spot. Did Ricochet mean to do that? I mean, I don't know. Right? I think it just wham, bam, right? I think maybe that's where we're going to go with that storyline, right? He's going to say, you fucking kicked me in the nuts. And he's going to be like, oh, hey, man, I didn't. Nope, you're just upset I lost. He stole Nana's coat, right? Forcibly stealing from Nana this coat, which they briefly said was really important to Nana, which we maybe, could have told that story before, but I get, maybe the idea just came up with this week. But so this is going to continue, right? I'm happy Ricochet gets this win, but we're going to have to dig in deeper, right? So I think, one, the stealing of the coat. Nana's going to be like, whatever. Swerve's going to be like, I got you. I'm going to take care of this. Bro, you whatever, right? I think they're going to lean into something on the, like, you know what I mean? Like this, I think this is where we're going. I don't know. What do you guys think, right? I need somebody in the chats. Send us your links. Send us all that on the Blue Sky. Tell us what you think. Send us anything you got. We went quick through this because, again, I'm alone. We don't have Tom here. A quick run back through Collision just to see if there was anything we want to talk about. We talked about Samoa Joe and Hook defeating Wayne and Sabian. Beast Mortos. I don't know if anybody caught this one. Beast Mortos beats up a jobber, and then this Max Caster thing, right? He comes out and he's like, "Ha! Get out of my ring. I'm doing my open challenge." And Roosh answers that with his LFI buddy Drolistico, and they're like, "I'm gonna answer that open challenge," and beat up Max Caster, which everybody beats him up, which is great. And they are kind of like, "Mortos, brother, what's up? You know what's up? Do this." And Mortos is kind of like, "Meh." So is Mortos LFI bound? Like, what are we doing here? The Outrunners, I said what we should do about the Outrunners. We got the Timeless Tony Storm Confession, which is another amazing spot this week. Collision is stepping its game up on segments that, like, they're kind of advancing a storyline or still part of a storyline, but they kind of stand alone. They kind of, like, you don't necessarily have to catch it, but if you do, it's some of the good talent, and they're still telling good stories here. Her kind of, I don't know, on stage monologue of confession of, like, she was like, "It was me playing that role. I know I had you confused." So she's still kind of crazy. Like, we're really exploring some good depths with this Tony Storm. Like, it's been a ruse, but how much is Tony Storm aware of it, right? Like, what the inception level, right? Of kind of like, where does Tony Storm begin and all these other iterations end, right? Like, that's kind of the fine tuning of the storytelling that I hope they kind of continue to hone in on. Daniel Garcia retained TNT Championship over Moriarty and Kyle O'Reilly. That happened. That was the thing. We had that Mid-South street fight, right? I thought it felt like Mox and Claudio just kind of ran away. Like, did that not really end? I don't really catch what happened there either. Still not, Death Riders are still a thing. I don't, fine. They were fine. But I'm really excited about this Ricochet Hangman stuff. Ricochet Swerve Strickland stuff. The Hangman MJF stuff. The blending of the Max Caster kind of being used as like a way to kind of transverse storytelling here was awesome. The patriarchy, I want a little more out of, right? I want them to be a little more involved in some main things, but I get there's only so many spots, so maybe they just need to bide their time. Harley Cameron is a comet, right? Like when they say rocket strapped to your ass, like Jesus, every time you see her, she's doing one of the most entertaining things on TV. The Hurt Syndicate are going to beat up on the Ass Boys next week, so that's going to be great. And the Don Callis family added a 6-member for reasons, right? So Dynamite was interesting. I give this one a top. Like, this is an A, maybe an A, right? Maybe short of an A+. I'll give this one an A. I think this was really good. I thought they did a lot of good storytelling. I think I'm anxiously awaiting things that are going to happen on Collision and next week's Dynamite. And that might be it. That might be the short show for this week. I'm glad you all were here with me. Tom will be back next week. I'll be back next week. We'll get it worked out, right? We'll admonish Tom. He'll apologize like he does sometimes in his own ways, and then we'll get better from this, right? We will be a better team moving forward, right? We will achieve efficiency and fuck all that. Anyway, next week, join us right here as we talk more All Elite Wrestling right here on the All Elite Wrap-Up. Next week.
Time.